Wilderness is defined as land free from human control, where natural processes dominate and nature operates on its own terms. And so we're here on the border of the Boundary Waters in Minnesota, paddling remote islands, fishing the river, and trekking up into the Sawtooth Mountains for a taste of that wilderness experience. This is Tiny Cabin Life. We're in the Superior National Forest in northern Minnesota, right on the border of the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness. Our cabin is set up on the banks of the Cascade River, which is not only incredibly beautiful, but is also a Class 1 trout stream. On top of this, we're also in the heart of the Sawtooth Mountains, Minnesota's one and only mountain range. But even better, we're only a few miles from Eagle Mountain, which is the highest point in the state, and we plan to hike to the summit tomorrow morning.
What a beautiful spot to be set up, huh? This is kind of the last mellow time to be up here before the bugs really start to get bad, and we're definitely going to take advantage of that, getting out and exploring on the trail. We're going to hit the water, and later on today I'm planning to wade out in this river and see if we can't catch some trout.
The Cascade River flows for about 17 miles before emptying into Lake Superior. It's home to a number of fish, including brook trout, rainbow trout, steelhead, and pink salmon. And so my hope is that we'll catch something at least later on today. But before we do anything, I gotta have some breakfast.
All right, I've got some avocado toast here, and I am so excited for it. It's an easy thing to prepare, it's healthy, and it's going to be a great way to start the day here. So good. I love avocado, guacamole, and of course I love hot sauce, so you combine that with eggs, my gosh, so bomb.
Now with breakfast out of the way, it's time to get out and do some exploring. And I think the first thing I'm going to do is hit the water with my pack raft.
All right, so we are starting off the day by heading over to a small little lake that we're going to go paddle in the pack raft. and also try to do a little bit of fishing. I'm choosing this lake specifically because it seems like it'll be fun to paddle and explore. It's just small enough to be able to make our way around it pretty well in the pack raft. I do know that there's supposed to be some fish in there, specifically northern pike, but it's not necessarily known for its fishing. But we'll give it a try nonetheless and see if we can catch something. Oh man. Well, as you can see, the road is closed to the left here. That's the route that I was planning to take to the lake. So we're gonna have to change our plans and head this way towards a larger lake. Thankfully, the trailhead for Eagle Mountain, which is straight ahead, is open because that's what I'm planning to hike tomorrow.
This is Ball Club Lake, directly on the border of the Boundary Waters. It's got a rugged wilderness quality to it, with multiple bays to explore and a few islands as well. It's much larger than the lake I was planning to explore, so I'm definitely going to have to do some more paddling. But hey, that's what we're here for, so might as well get out there and do it.
What I think makes this such a unique lake is the fact that it's pressed up against the Boundary Waters. However, you're still allowed to bring in a larger boat with a motor. It's also unique in the sense that there are all different types of fish that you can catch in here, including some trout. I don't know if we'll actually be able to catch any of those, but we're going to certainly try.
I'm using a large spinner lure and attempting to cast as close as I can to down trees or the weed line just offshore.
Got one.
I'm definitely a beginner still, but from what I'm aware of, northern pike and certainly trout might be interested in this setup here.
Caught a stick. That really felt like a bite. I think maybe what happened was I snagged it and then it like pulled a little because I was moving.
After trying for another 15 to 20 minutes, I figured it was probably time to start paddling again.
So what I want to do now is try to head out to one of the small islands that's just around the bend up here. There's campsites spread out all over this lake. In fact, there's one just off to the left over there. And so it'd be cool to find one that, you know, potentially we could come back to and camp on in the future. Here she is. And as you can see, there's another island off to the right over there too. There's just got to be a campsite here.
I did a full circle around the island and unfortunately, no campsite. And after looking at a map, I don't think there's one on the other island either. Still, this is such a cool lake with so many different fishing opportunities that I would love to come back regardless. After getting off the lake, we made our way back to the cabin for some lunch.
So according to the fishing reports that I read for the Cascade River, the hottest part of the day supposedly is the best time to catch the trout. That's right around right now. So once I finish this up, I'm gonna head down there and see if we can't catch anything.
I always thought that the early morning and evening was the best time to catch fish, but maybe trout are different. I guess we'll find out.
All right, so it looks like we've got a pretty nice spot to start here. We've got a pool over there, pool on the left side, and since we're coming off of these little rapids here, they're not going to see anything coming. So we might have some luck right here.
Rivers like the Cascade here on the North Shore are known for having a rainbow trout run in the springtime. They enter these tributaries from Lake Superior each spring to spawn, and unlike the resident rainbow trout that live in these streams year-round, they will grow to larger sizes in the lake before coming into the streams to reproduce. Now, because I'm so high up in the river past multiple waterfalls, I'm just going for resident brook trout or rainbow trout, really whatever decides to bite.
Last night when I got in, I caught like 3 or 4 little trout right off the bat. So I'm wondering if that fishing report is a little off. Maybe the evening is the time to do it.
I love trout fishing in rivers and streams. In fact, I headed down to southeastern Minnesota only a week prior to do so. While out on this little creek, I caught 4 or 5 little brook trout. And if you're wondering why you haven't seen this footage, it's because I only ended up down there for the day to do a little fishing.
Well, it would appear as though they're not biting right now or something, and I think I'm gonna call it quits before I waste too much time down here. There's a hike I wanna do, and you know, like I said earlier, I had some luck for 5 minutes last night when we arrived, and so I think maybe evening time is a better time to be down here. So we are headed down to the mouth of the Cascade River where it dumps out into Lake Superior. We're going to be going on a hike in Cascade River State Park up to Lookout Mountain, which is supposed to just be gorgeous. And there's actually a backcountry campsite up there that I've wanted to check out as well. It's only about a 3-mile round trip hike up to the peak and back, so it's not too bad, but it'll be a nice little way to stretch our legs and have a little warm up before tomorrow's hike up to Eagle Mountain.
The trail here starts right near the shore of Lake Superior and makes its way up towards a number of waterfalls. Cascade River drops 900 feet from its source way up in the Sawtooths, kind of nearby where we're camped. But the most dramatic drop in elevation is here at the Cascade Falls.
It's pretty amazing to think that this is the same river that passes by the cabin. You know, it's so tranquil and calm up there, but it has a long ways to go and a lot of downhill to make its way into Lake Superior, and that's why you have all of these waterfalls.
Eventually, our trail meets up with the Superior Hiking Trail, which is a long-distance regional trail here on the North Shore.
I really love it every time we end up on one of these long-distance hiking trails. We've been spending a lot of time on the North Country Trail, which is actually the longest trail in the country. But right now we're on the Superior Hiking Trail, which is, I think, certainly more well-known here in the state.
Towards the end of the trail, you really start to gain some significant elevation before topping out. This overlook on Lookout Mountain is one of the best views of this area I have ever seen. It offers panoramic views of not only the Cascade River Valley down below, but also Lake Superior and the surrounding Sawtooth Mountains. And the point where I'm standing is also incredibly dramatic, with steep cliffs and exposed rock dropping off for a long ways below.
The view from up here shows just the massive scale of this place. There's so much rugged country between the shores of Lake Superior and the tops of these mountains. And while Lookout Mountain might not be the tallest, it has probably one of the most dramatic peaks that you'll find here in the Sawtooths.
Now, before we head down the mountain and back to the cabin, I had to check out the backcountry site that's up here at the peak.
Oh man. Oh, this is pretty sweet. So I knew that there was a backpacking site up here, but I had no idea that they had a log cabin shelter. Wow. This site right now is closed because they're doing some maintenance on it. I'm not sure what they're working on, but man, oh man, already this is so nice. The shelter's in really great shape. You've got a bear locker, fire ring, and a picnic table. But the icing on the cake is that you are just steps away from the most incredible view in the area, honestly.
When we got back to the cabin, I tried my luck back out in the river. But sadly, once again, no luck. And so I gave it up and came inside for some dinner.
Now these are some bomb tacos. We've got steak, rice, guac, pico, and I did throw a little bit of hot sauce in there as well. It's so good. Oh my gosh.
After dinner, I decided to come outside for a little bit of a campfire. Due to the recent wildfires, not only here in Minnesota, but also up in Canada, I decided to bring out the propane fireball. It's a much safer option than a normal campfire because it doesn't create any sparks and therefore can't get out of control.
Well, this has been a pretty incredible day. And I can't believe all the stuff that we were able to do. Just a jam-packed day of fun. So the plan for tomorrow is to wake up at 4 a.m., turn on the coffee, and then just head out the door. I'm going to try to be on the trail to Eagle Mountain by 5 so that we have plenty of time to explore, get up to the summit, and then get back here and pack up camp at a decent hour. And so I think with that being said, it's time for me to turn in. I'll see you guys in the morning. Oh boy. Very, very tired. But gotta get up and get after it. Well, we're on our way. And it's amazing to me that at 4 a.m. the sun's already coming up. It's kind of incredible.
Eagle Mountain lies within the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness, which requires a permit, even for just a day hike like this. Thankfully, you can issue it yourself, so all I have to do is fill out this form, and we're good to go.
Well, we're out on the trail, and I gotta say, it feels good to be up and at it this early. Kind of brings me back to the days when we used to do mountaineering every now and then, because you'd always be up well before the sun came up and on your way up to the summit because you wanted to get off of it before the afternoon storms rolled in. And so being out here like this right now not only just feels good, but it's nostalgic as well.
The hike into Eagle Mountain is approximately 3.5 miles with a 550-foot elevation gain. The trail begins in the Superior National Forest before crossing over into the wilderness boundary. And so that's also why I was able to take these drone shots here before crossing into the boundary waters where drones are illegal.
All right, guys, this is where we cross over into the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness. It's a whole other level of protection on this land, and this is a very, very special place to a lot of people. So I'm really excited to be hiking in.
Designated wilderness areas like the Boundary Waters are extra special because they're meant to be left untrammeled. That's the term that was used in the Wilderness Act of 1964, and what it means is they're meant to be left unrestricted or unhindered by human control.
And so when you're in a wilderness area, the ideas of leave no trace are so much higher. You're not allowed to have a motorized vehicle, and there's all sorts of restrictions that are meant to keep this place just as it is, or really left unto itself to change how it shall instead of how we as human beings want it to change, I guess.
This is Whale Lake, a relatively small body of water below Eagle Mountain. It's commonly used as a stopping off point for hikers on this trail and actually features 2 backcountry campsites. Now, while a lot of people believe that the peak we're seeing here is Eagle Mountain itself, it's actually a different peak that sits about 80 feet shorter than the Eagle Mountain summit. After passing Whale Lake, we're on the final stretch up to the peak of Eagle Mountain. And this is where the more serious uphill begins.
So I think I kind of remembered this last section a bit wrong. I kind of thought it was like a very gradual climb up to the top, but in reality, you're gaining the majority of the elevation right here on this last little stretch. And here she is. Summit of Eagle Mountain, the highest point in the state of Minnesota. Wow, that is pretty cool. So we are up at 2,301 feet above sea level. And I just think it's so cool that our highest point is in the Boundary Waters Wilderness area. The BWCA is certainly one of the big treasures of our state. And so to have our highest point here within the wilderness area, I think is pretty special. I also think it's kind of funny that, you know, the summit here is just completely in the woods. But thankfully, there's an awesome overlook just below the summit that we're going to go check out next.
From this overlook near the peak, we can see further out into the Boundary Waters. Directly below us is the secluded Shrike Lake, which doesn't have any formal trails to access it. And so the only way to do so would be to go off trail. It sits about 500 feet below the summit here, and so the view is spectacular.
Well, as much as I'd love to sit up here forever, the black flies are out with a vengeance. So I think it's about time we head back towards the truck. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you so much for coming along. I just love any time that we get to come up to the North Shore, Sawtooth Mountains, this entire region. It's absolutely the gem of our state here because everything is just on another level, from the lakes to the rivers and even mountains. It's just spectacular, and I'm so glad we were able to come now, especially since it's summer. As always, I want to give a special shout out to our patrons who generously donate to this channel. Thank you guys so much. Also, I want to thank all of you who have been praying for my dad. He's making some slow but steady progress, and so I really appreciate that, and I know he does as well. I also want to give you guys a heads up that my travel cabin t-shirt here is in our merch store. It's another design by my cousin Lacey Stewart, and I think she did a great job. So if you're interested in that, you can follow the link below. As for now, it's time for me to get home to the girls, but I'm excited to say that they will be in next week's adventure, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be a good one. We'll see you then. God bless.